10 Le Pliage nylon toes are sold every minute. It might not have occurred to Longchamp that a combination of leather and nylon would become a smash hit. In today's show, Longchamp CEO and creative director will share the history of the development of Le Pliage handbags with us.
It's a practical fabric, but at the same time, I think the twist with the leather make it very chic and very elegant.
Longchamp, once a low-profile French family-owned luxury brand, has recently opened a flagship store in Shanghai with a high profile.
Are you the big brother in the family?
Yeah, well, I'm the CEO of the company, so it's me a few responsibilities.
The next season it will be a green bag. I need a green bag in the collection.
Here in China, the green color is not popular at all.
If he doesn't like green, he will say, okay, if you think you need green, let's go on green.
The one take care of the brother
Not really,
and sister?
I think they can take care of themselves pretty well.
Because you are the best sister and the best partner of him.
Yes, they are 20, 22
Wow.
and 18 years old.
That's so
they
sweet.
Are not
Can I have a look?
anymore like this.
Wow.
I have
You're such a nice mom.
picture of my husband too.
Wow.
财智对话由镇北补西补影城冠名播出。
On April 20th, 2017, Longchamp opened a flagship store at Carry Center in Shanghai with celebrity guests. As one of the few family-owned luxury brands worldwide, Longchamp invited its chairman Philip, its CEO Jean, and its creative director Sophie, all coming from the Cassegrain family, to the opening ceremony of the flagship store in Shanghai. The flagship store at Carry Center has the widest range of products in China, covering an area of over 100 square meters. It is located at Shanghai's congested Western Nanjing Road. Different from its conservative image in the past, the great ceremony of the flagship store at Carry Center seems to mark a turning point for Longchamp.
Well, Jean, congratulations.
Thank you.
For the brand new flagship
Yes,
store
thank you.
here in Shanghai.
We're very proud.
So this one looks very different from the other Longchamp store. Who is the designer?
It's been designed by our own internal architectural team.
Wow. We even have an architecture team.
Well, yes, we have to, because we build a lot of shops, and it's important that the shops be designed in each and every detail. What's interesting, with this design is that it looks different at the different times of the day. So
You have a different relaxation.
It takes the light in a very subtle way. So we like this design because it's at the same time very bold and strong, but also very subtle.
But it's quite hard to get a straight-facing location on Nanjing Road, right?
Yes, it's difficult because every single brand on the planet is competing to have a street-facing location on Nanjing Sea Road. So it takes a lot of time and effort, and when the opportunity comes, you have to be very quick to grab it.
How long have you been waited for this place?
Several years.
Several years?
Yes, several years.
So how did you get it? I'm so curious about
Well,
it.
it's an opportunity, you have to be there at the right time.
On the waiting list for a long time.
Well, it's talking to a lot of people and trying to, not to miss an opportunity when it comes.
Well, last time you mentioned about not to go too fast is the right way to approach the success. And
Yes.
now you're opening a store, a brand new store on Nanjing Sea Road. Do you think you're still exploring Chinese market in a slow pace or a fast pace?
As of now, Longchamp has 18 stores in China, while other luxury brands have over 100 stores in China separately. In the spring of 2016, Jean shared his way of running a business with us during his first appearance on Miser Millionaires.
We need to be where the customers are, and we need the customers to
Exposure.
We need exposure, and that we need. But also, we don't want to be at every corner and at every shopping mall, because then after a while, people don't desire your brand anymore if it's too prevalent. So we need to find the right balance, and this is our art. Maybe in the long run, that will prove to be a better strategy, not to go too fast, to build up the clientele step by step.
So you think slower is faster?
Exactly. Couldn't put it better. In our business, it's key to get the right locations, and if you go too fast, you end up taking any place just for the sake of opening stores. So we are not in a program where we need to open so many stores every year, and we are going to open that number of stores regardless of whether they are good or not.
Do you have a very high expectation of this store?
Yes, we have high expectations, and also, as any flagship store, it serves two purposes. So first, it's a business tool, it's a machine, for selling products, but it's also an image tool.
It's a branding.
For branding, and I think it's important for the brand to have its facade on Nanjing Road. We've been selling our products in Shanghai for a long time, but I would say in a rather discreet way. So now it's time to be a little bit less discreet and be a little bit more bold, and to put our name out on the street in a very visible and forceful way.
Yep. Well, physical stores are now treated as fitting rooms for customers, with high quality services, short working distance, and best location and best condition. But many people would like to try out the outfits or try out the ready-to-wear collections inside of the store, but purchase it online. So how do you think about this trend here in China?
Well, I think that at the global level, worldwide, probably about 95% of our business is still in stores. So it's still very much brick and mortar, and I think it's pretty much the same for most luxury brands. So a lot of business is still going on in the stores. It's a very important factor that we need to take into consideration, but the bulk of the business is still in the store.
Well, last year you mentioned about, while we were having the interview, you said you launched the very interesting online WeChat platform for customized bags for your customers. And I'd like to know, how is the feedback? It's been a year.
The feedback has been excellent, and we've been quite successful with this program.
In May 2016, Longchamp launched its first mobile e-commerce platform on WeChat in Chinese mainland, allowing customers to customize their own unique folding bags with a convenient and efficient online preview feature. And it takes about 6 to 8 weeks for French craftsmen to make every folding bag by hand. However, the personalized customer service started 10 years ago in Western countries.
I heard that you had this kind of program overseas, even before you launched this program inside of China.
Yes.
Any differences in terms of the color or the material you use for certain bag? I heard that one of the leather you actually ran out because you have a large need from the Chinese market.
Yes. Some the color,
pink one.
The colors may vary, the size of the bags. So, for example, the Americans they like large size bags, whereas the Asians like smaller size bags. In terms of colors, for example, here in China, the green color is not popular at all. People don't buy very much green for some reason.
Did you ask the reason?
I don't know. No, I didn't ask. And but the pink color is very successful here, or the red color. So there can be some slight variations here on details depending. But in general, our best sellers are the same best sellers worldwide.
What is the product?
Well, the best sellers, of course, are folding bags, Le Pliage, which are a bestseller worldwide. our luxury Paris Premier bag, which has also been a bestseller in many countries. I could mention as well the Roseau bag or the 3D bags, so there are several of them. But in general, it's more or less the same bestsellers everywhere.
You actually invited a lot of KOL to work with you to endorse the brand of Longchamp. One of the key persons is actually Mr. Bags.
Yes.
So can you tell us the story?
Well,
how do you know him?
Mr. Bags plays a vital role in Longchamp's online personalized customer service. Mr. Bags, whose real name is Liang Tao, is a post-90 nut about leather handbags. He is very familiar with all brands of handbags. He runs Mr. Bags' official accounts on WeChat. Actually, Liang Tao started to write columns about bags on Rinrin.com in 2011. After graduating from Columbia University in 2016, he has already had over 3 million fans on social media.
You know, because in Western countries like in UK and Europe, people can customize their own Longchamp bag online. But in China, that service has never been, brought here to the mainland. So I feel like a lot of girls are like asking, like, well, my friend got a customized one in UK, but can I get one in Beijing or Shanghai? So I have that in my memory, so I memorized that specific comment, and I'm like, oh my god, this opportunity finally came. So that's why I specially request Longchamp, like, could we do this? And Longchamp is like, yes, maybe we could try. But we, like, I feel like both Longchamp and Mr. Bags, like both of us, never thought that bag fans will be so like happy and so crazy and so excited about this customization service. And actually the price point is a little bit higher than the normal Longchamp bags. And we did 2 turns of the customization, and each time the feedback is really positive and really nice.
Why KOLs matter here in China digital
because they have
market?
an audience, they matter because they have an audience. A TV channel has an audience, a magazine has an audience, and Mr. Bag has an audience.
So when you choose to work with these kind of KOLs, would you judge by their amount of fans or the ability of getting better revenues for you?
In the old times, when you're buying a billboard, you never know how much bags that billboard is going to sell for you, and you never even try to figure out how many bags you sell from one billboard. It's just impossible. Now with the online advertising, you can figure out the number of clicks, the number of video views, the number of bags you sold from that, and it's and the picture is actually not that much clearer. Because you get so many figures, some of them are inaccurate. It's difficult to evaluate in monetary terms each and every action that you take. So at the end of the day, it's more a gut feeling, and you have to, more feel for it.
As a creative director of Longchamp, Jean's sister, Sophie, has shared small details of the classic locally arched bag's creation.
And he finds this material very interesting because at first it was very resistant and very light and not fragile. And he decided to start to do luggage with this material, where I have, of course, all the card, and I have also, if you want to see, I have also a picture of my kids when they was little, wow. Very little, Now they are 20, 22 and 18 years old, so they are not anymore like this, of course.
Wow.
I have a
nice
picture of my husband too.
Wow. Very nice.
No, it's very usual.
这个呢就是喜茶，
这是用手这筷子吃。
您已经尝过了哈。
对，我是尝过的。
网红之所以会这么做，其实背后还是那只手。
投资人也需要一个像喜茶这个8、9年的小伙子这种人。
为什么中式连锁餐饮做到后边以后，大家的感觉说，哎呦， 总是不如第一家好。
Fashion blogger is now a full-brand career in Western countries, whose dressing styles lead the way and are favored by the public and all fashion luxury brands. Fashion bloggers often sit in the front row in the fashion shows, providing professional and accurate fashion trend analysis for different markets on their blogs. Fashion bloggers have attracted many faithful fans and readers. BNP Paribas released a list in January to help French brands to seek for chances for cooperation in China. Go-Go Boy, Dipsy, Mr. Bags, Miss Shopping Lee top the list of China's fashion bloggers. Mr. Bags ranks third on the list. According to the statistics from the industry, it takes tens of thousands of yuan to cooperate with any fashion bloggers on the list, which is the same price for the cooperation with fashion magazines and newspapers. However, the former has received far more public attention than the latter.
Long time ago, you would put on 1 page or 2 pages sponsorship to the magazine. But nowadays, you might give the budget to the KOLs, but they will give you a big return. Business is business. They will give you a big return in terms of the revenue and very good performance. So how would you think about that?
You know, our job is to balance actions that sometimes generate immediate revenue and actions that also are long-term brand building. We, you know, as an independent family business, I don't work, you know, for tomorrow's turnover. I don't work, you know, for the next quarter publication of, you know, we are not listed on the stock market. We don't have to publish and broadcast the revenues every quarter. So I don't work for the next quarter. I work really for the next generation. Mm-hmm. So it means that, you know, some of the actions that we do are going to generate money today, and some of the actions that we do are also going to generate money maybe in 10 years' time. So we really favor this long-term view of things. So we do things sometimes that do not have any immediate positive effect on the revenue, mm-hmm. but we still do it because we feel that it's important for the brand in the long term.
Wow, it's a very wise concept and philosophy.
Yes, so I know that, you know, sometimes here in China people want to get results very fast, and you know, aggressive. The country is growing fast and everything is very aggressive, but we take a more European approach at growing things step by step.
Do you think it gives the young KOLs or young social media platforms more space and more creativity to explore their market in the fashion industry?
Yeah, I think each media has its pluses and minuses. So the traditional print paper media are still important for us because, you know, frankly, a nice image, a nice fashion image is still looking better when you have a, you know, double page spread in a nice glossy magazine than on the screen on your phone in the small size. So I think it's still, I think young people still enjoy looking at the fashion magazine, you know, for the nice images and because it's a different feeling. And then you're on your phone, on your laptop, it's a different way to look at things. So it's mm-hmm. interesting too, you know, it can be more interactive, you can have some interesting features that are a little bit more creative. So each media complement each other. So it's why it's important for us to have this 360 degrees approach. Mm-hmm. We cannot afford to ignore any media, we need to use all of them. You know, like I have a daughter who's 22 years old, so she spends a lot of time, of course, on her iPhone, on Instagram or on Facebook, but she also reads the fashion magazines. So I think you want to talk to her in different ways.
Okay, but does she purchase the bag in the physical store or online shopping?
No, she gets the bags from me. She doesn't need to go out and purchase bags.
Okay.
Longchamp continues to strengthen its cooperation with WeChat. During the opening ceremony of its flagship store in Shanghai, Longchamp has launched 2 mini programs on WeChat and become the first luxury brand having worked with WeChat on mini programs. Paris Chenin introduces French-style boutiques in Shanghai and interacts with the target audience online, while Longchamp Custom Workshop is created to sell personalized folding bags.
It's the new version of the pliage with the little badges that you can change, so you select, the ones that you like,
Pin
and
it
you just
on.
pin it on, and it's a fun product that you can play with.
Looks very adorable.
Yes, it's adorable, and that's what's going to be on our WeChat mini program.
Oh, so that's the result when you actually go through the mini
you
program.
can personalize
and choose
it, with all the badges, and so you can have fun choosing the one you like.
I think the young age would love it.
I'm sure any age.
How many users you want to get from WeChat users?
As many as possible. I think we'd be happy with 1% of that.
Okay.
And then online, there are several ways to sell online. So it can be through third parties like Tmall, or it can be through a WeChat app, or it can be on our own website. So then it's up to us to find what is the best way to penetrate this online market.
But in China, why do you choose WeChat instead of Tmall?
Well, WeChat is so convenient. It's so smooth and integrated. I think it's very, very efficient. I think we have an excellent, partnership with WeChat, and it's worked well for us for the moment.
So you want to keep the priority, or let's say the pioneer spirit.
Yes,
of
I think it's
shopping.
important to bring up, all the time a new experience. I think the online users are looking for new opportunities and new experiences, and will be providing that.
Jean's grandfather established Longchamp in Paris in 1948, which was specializing in leather-wrapped pipes at first. In 1993, Jean's father Philip designed the first classic Le Pliage nylon tote. And in fact, when it comes to Longchamp, the public will always think of the classic Le Pliage line. Longchamp's nylon folding bags have been popular since 1993, with a price of 600 RMB. Now, many leather bags showcased in the stores are originated from the design of the classic Le Pliage line. As a creative director of Longchamp, Jean's sister Sophie has shared the small details of the classic Le Pliage bag's creation.
Why did your father use nylon as such a creative material at that time instead of leather to design Le Pliage?
He started working with nylon much earlier than Le Pliage because he started in the 70s when he found a stock of nylon coming from the army, and it was a material used to put on the floor, and he found this material very interesting because at first it was very resistant and very light and not fragile, and he decided to start to do luggage with this material. Because of course with a luggage you need to have something resistant, not fragile, and light. So he was really the first one to use nylon for bags and luggage. 20 years later, when he designed Le Pliage, of course he wanted to use nylon because it was really the perfect fit in between the design, the functionality of the bag, and the quality. And we are able to do all the colors that we want. I can print on it, and so it's a very typical and specific type of nylon.
It's a very practical fabric.
It's a practical fabric, but at the same time, I think the twist with the leather make it very chic and very elegant.
And you designed the Le Pliage heritage to
Yes.
tribute to this legendary design.
Yes, the idea was for the 20th anniversary of Le Pliage. Of course, all the story of Le Pliage was around softness, something supple, something foldable, and I wanted to do something nearly at the opposite of Le Pliage. So I did something structured, not foldable, and that become a very elegant handbags. But I keep the identity and the spirit of the shape that my dad did 20 years earlier. The pliage is strong enough to support, to play with, and to go further in what we can do with. So it's why I go on this way.
You brought your own bag here, right?
Yes.
So this is the new collection of Longchamp.
It's one bag coming from the next collection, the next fall-winter collection.
Okay.
So not yet in stock.
Can I have a look inside?
Yes. So it's very common inside, you know. So
Okay.
you have I have my French purse, where I have, of course, all the card, and I have also, if you want to see, I have also a picture of my kids when they was little,
Wow.
very little. You know, now they are 20, 22 and
Wow.
18 years old,
That's
so
so
they are
sweet.
not
Can I have a
anymore
look?
like this, of course.
Wow.
I have
You're such a nice mom.
picture of my husband too.
Wow. Very nice.
No?
Every Parisian lady?
I don't know, every woman, no? Even in Shanghai, no?
Some are,
Yes.
some are not.
Yes. After I have, so I am very old looking, but I love my diary, and I am, even if I have of course, my cell phone, I don't like to have my diary in my cell phone. So I have my old way to take my notes.
Why do you like to?
Because
Put down
I
the
like
diary in
paper.
the old way.
I like paper. I like to write. I like to design. I like to write. I like to take notes. And for me, it's a more easy way and more natural way. So,
So you have the designer's thinking
maybe
of putting on the
Maybe.
diaries.
yes.
Okay.
My passport. So I have here my business card in Shanghai Trio clutch.
Oh, that's the Chinese version.
Yes, but I bought it in Shanghai many years ago.
So when
I
you come
always
to
have it.
Shanghai,
No,
you will
no,
change the
it's
name
always
packet.
this one.
Oh, okay.
I don't change. I have, with my long hair, I have my brush. Voilà.
There is no cosmetics, no?
They are in
Lipsticks?
my tote bag. I have lipstick, I think. Yes,
And,
yeah. I have
and
my
chewing gum.
lipstick.
Okay.
I have my lipstick and I have mint.
Okay.
That's it.
So you don't put on heavy makeup. You just need to be.
I have it sometime. I am at my office. I have some at the office that I keep for the day if I have to make a retouch. But otherwise, when I'm traveling, or I have a tote bag with my document, my file, and I can have my cosmetic.
Okay. But you keep the bag in a very traditional way. Let's say.
You know, I like magazine. I like to read book. I like to take note. I like to design. I like the paper. I don't design on the computer. I like to design on paper. So I have always many pencil in my. So here I have 1, 2. I have plenty of.
There is a
I
pen
have, yes.
inside as well.
You know, I have
So
plenty
you've got
because
3 pens
yes,
inside of the bag.
yes, because I like to take notes and to design. So it's
Okay.
it's
So
well.
you will get the inspiration anytime and then write out on it on
anytime,
the diary.
and I need to be ready.
As a designer, when you have something very new, very creative, when you talk to your brother,
Yes, for sure.
would he say no? Or would you have any conflicts?
If I told him The next season it will be a green bag. I need a green bag in the collection. If he doesn't like green, he will say, okay, if you think you need green, let's go on green. So it's really cool because we are really confident together and we really exchange a lot. And of course, sometimes it makes me think and I can change and I can have an evolution. But if something is very important for me, he will trust me and it's the same for him.
Because you are the best sister and the best partner of him.
Yes, he's the best brother too.
Are you the big brother in the family?
Yes, I'm the older one, yes.
No, I mean the big brother, take care of everything.
Yeah, well, I'm the CEO of the company, so it gives me a few responsibilities.
But would you be, let's say, the one take care of the brother
Not really.
and sister?
I think I can take care of myself pretty well.
Even when you were little?
Yes.
We have a lot of statistics showing that Chinese luxury market has a bit growth.
Currently, the French customer is still our #1 customer worldwide, but it's possible, or it's even likely, I think, that in 2017, the Chinese will overtake the French as our #1 customer worldwide.
这个呢就是喜茶，
这是用手这筷子吃。
你已经尝过了
对，
哈。
我是尝过的。
网红之所以会这么做，其实背后还是那只手。
投资人也需要一个像喜茶这个8、9年的小伙子这种人。
为什么中式连锁餐饮做到后边以后，大家的感觉说，哎呦，总是不如第一家好。
这个呢就是喜茶，
这是用手这筷子吃。
你已经尝过了
对，
哈。
我是尝过的。
网红之所以会这么做，其实背后还是那只手。
投资人也需要一个像喜茶这个8、9年的小伙子这种人。
为什么中式连锁餐饮做到后边以后，大家的感觉说，哎呦，总是不如第一家好。
So what is the performance last year for China market?
It's growing more and more. I think things are taking shape here for us, and we're getting more and more people on board, and people who are familiar with the brand usually stay with us. When they've purchased once, they remain loyal to the brand because they enjoy the authenticity and the quality of the product. So we build up our audience step by step, and because people remain usually very loyal to us.
Asian markets represented 28% of Longchamp's total revenue in 2016, which was €553 million, while France, its domestic market, accounted for 29%. There were much fewer tourists in France due to the terrorist attacks in the first half year of 2016 in France. And later, there were rising fears of traveling in Europe caused by the terrorist attack in Nice that left over 80 people dead. Besides, Brexit has led to Europe's economic instability, thus posing greater challenges to the sales of luxury brands.
What about global market?
The global market, so last year has been rather difficult because, in particular, because of a drop in the number of tourists to Europe, and this has affected our business significantly in Europe. But here in China, it's been growing significantly, and it continues to grow. The first 4 months have been really excellent.
What would be the reason behind all that? Do you think the reshape of the global political order gives you a little bit help for the domestic market here in China?
Well, no, I think it's mostly the result of our efforts and the results of the effort of our own team. We are still a small company, so we are dependent, of course, of the big, geopolitical situations, but we're also very dependent on our own efforts, and so if we do a good job, then we can grow. So I think that's really the most important factor, whether we do a good job or not.
Well, I've got a figure here. In the third quarter of 2016, the number of Chinese tourists went to France fell by 34%. And actually, for the whole year, there are a big drop of 20% of the Chinese tourists. So do you think it affects on the Chinese domestic market, their consumption actually moving towards domestically?
So yes, there has been a drop in the number of tourists last year, but it's already back up. I think Paris is still a very beautiful city and will remain a very beautiful city for a long time. And I think that a lot of Chinese people still, feel very much about Paris and are still very much willing to come and visit us in Paris. So that's important. In the short term, there can be ups and downs. So it was a little bit down last year. It's up again now this year. So in the long term, I believe that we'll still be very well positioned in Paris to receive a large number of Chinese tourists. Well, in each and every European market, or in each and every global market for that matter, we want to develop the local business very much. So of course there are tourists everywhere. There are tourists in Hong Kong and in Tokyo and in Paris and in New York. But the tourists, the business with the tourists can go up and down very quickly because there can be some short-term events that make them go to other destinations for any reason, whether it's attacks like we had last year in Paris, or a virus, or anything, or a political crisis. So this can create a lot of upheaval. So for that matter, in each and every global market, our first and foremost goal is to develop the local customer because they are a more stable basis. So in China, we aim first and foremost at developing our local Chinese customer here in Shanghai. There are a lot of tourists, but the Shanghainese people are our priority.
Do you have any expectation for the 2017 in China? Because we have a lot of statistics showing that Chinese luxury market has a bit growth during Q1 and Q2. Do you think it's a kind of ephemeral?
No, I think it's a long-term trend, and I think there is still a lot of growth potential for luxury brands in China.
So you think the phenomenon is back?
Yeah, I think it's back. I think it's working. Some European brands have had a hard time in China last year, but it's maybe because they had overexpanded. As you pointed out, some brands have closed down some stores. So, but we're still here in growth mode, as far as Longchamp is concerned, and I think we can still grow significantly. Currently, the French customer is still our #1 customer worldwide, but it's possible, or it's even likely, I think, that in 2017, the Chinese will overtake the French as our #1 customer worldwide.
Okay, so take care of the Chinese customers.
Yes. So we take very much care of them. Yes.
And I like the way you use different fabrics and leathers.
Thank you. Yeah,
you even have the lovely spring-fitting print on the leather.
So we always insist on quality. Yes, and we can do things that are quite unique, like printed leather, for example, which is quite difficult to make. And our leather is always fabricated in a very soft and light way, so that it can be agreeable to wear.
So you don't feel tight.
Even in the summer, you can wear it like a sweater. I think that nowadays, fashion and leather goods is the same industry, so you cannot,
go into a store and just purchase the bag.
I think it's important to have both. It gives a full image and a full silhouette.